Hello everyone, thanks for having me here. So this is my first part of my story, which some of you know. I got a PhD from Torino in 2003, then went for a round of postdocs all around that already made me feel as part of the European Union, I guess. Since 4 years, I'm working as administrator in the European Parliament. So in an international institution, which is one of the three main institutions of the European Union, the other two being the Commission and the Council. And specifically, I work in the Secretariat of the European Parliament, which means that is some sort of neutral structure, which is not part of the political groups and parties, and working in the Committee on the Environment, Public Health and Food Safety. So, how is it to work at the European Parliament, apart from the obvious differences of attire that you can see here, which is some of the things you would have to get used to. So our main task is to provide assistance to the members of parliaments, or MEPs, how we call them, members of the European Parliament, in their tasks, in the exercise of their mandate. This may include many things. But in particular, I would like to stress that my job is, again, from a neutral perspective, so I may end up, and I did end up working with members of many member states, many EU member states, and many parties, or how we call them, political groups. One of the probably most, well, the activities that take most of your time, and also the most interesting one, is to assist the MEPs in their legislative work. The European Parliament is one of the two, let's say, chambers of European lawmaking, and the European Commission proposes a law, and in order for the law to actually become a law for Europe, it has to be approved in the same form by the Parliament and by the Council. So the Parliament is made of 735 directly elected members, while the Council has the representative of the government, so they work like the two chambers and they have to approve laws. In the Parliament, every law is given to a rapporteur, who is a member who will follow the law until, and amend it and change it and discuss it until it reaches the final form, and you assist them in several ways. First of all, procedural, like organizing meetings and so on. But then, depending on the relation you have with the member working on this and how much he trusts you and how well you work together, also more and more on content. You may help give advice, and of course the final responsibility and choice is always of the political authority, but you can make yourself useful. And for example, I showed some press releases of more or less recent European laws where I had my hand a little bit in, like new substances controlled in water. This is all in the field of environment, public health, or food safety, because that's what the committee does. Or a recent law shifting towards advanced biofuels, or last Wednesday, this is not yet a law, but the Parliament got a position against animal cloning and import of animal cloning, and these are all little things where I could help the rapporteur to get to the final, or not really final, but advanced form of the law. So what's the difference then? How is the transition? The first question that I was asked to address, is string theory any useful? Well, honestly, no, as you may expect. But on the other hand, physicists and somehow their skill set and mindset are quite appreciated in institutions. I mean, in my unit, we are about, unit is like the group of people working together in the secretariat of the committee. There are about 20 people, about 10 administrators, of which 3 are physicists. Well, one just left and I will leave next month. But up to a little time ago, we were 3 physicists, which is like a high percentage. So it means we are appreciated for our way. Well, I will not repeat probably all the things that the previous speaker said. And then there are other little things. First of all, I would say, this is a point that was already made before, like many jobs out there, is less solitary, which is good or bad, depending on what you like. And there are definitely more social skills required than here, where the level of social skills required is well, sometimes very low, talking about diplomacy or political sensibility and so on. You have to navigate through many people of different countries and completely different political ideas, try to get compromises and so on, which is very interesting and challenging, but sometimes slippery. So definitely it's a more formal, hierarchical, bureaucratic place. As you could see as how I was dressed on the podium back there. But the good thing of the parliament, maybe also respect of other institutions, and even like new administrators like me who start at a low level and are like the little grain of in the big machine, the little wheel in the big machine, have direct contact with members, and so with members of the European Parliament who are, of course, of a different level. They're not part of a hierarchy, but they are the ones that really are responsible for the political things and do the things, and you assist them directly. So actually, you have, despite the whole hierarchical structure, you have a lot of live contact with what's really happening in policy and politics day by day. Then there are also similarities. So for example, there as well, there is a multilingual, multicultural environment, a bit like here. Well, you don't get, I don't know, Indians or Pakistani there because it's a European Union institution, but still, the sort of atmosphere is the same. That doesn't mean, I mean, I have a lot of nice colleagues and they are very well there, but I do miss you guys a lot because the physicists are something special in human relations as well. Well, another big difference is that here we're used to take one topic and go to as much depth as we can. So this is, I guess, the point of research most of the time. There it's completely different. You have a lot of things happening over and over and over all the time, and you have to quickly grasp the essential things and try to deliver quality output with what you understood. So you have to work really fast and grasp the essential elements in many topics all the time. Which, yeah, again, depends on your taste, but it's a difference. And finally, well, I see a bit more than usual here, but hey, there are women in the European Parliament and institutions, which is also something that changes the environment quite a lot with respect to what I was used to in my previous years of theoretical physics. So as talking about the transition, the time didn't start, so I don't know. Oops, I will be as quick as possible. Sorry. People ask me how you enter there. I mean, several postdocs or about to finish postdocs ask me this. So there are yearly competitions, and the first screening of the huge number of candidates happen with computerized tests. Like multiple choice tests, where you have to understand sentences or do little like elementary school mathematic things, or things like abstract reasoning, like these are 5 figures, what's the 6th? That's not that bad for a physicist. I guess that's how I got there. So now they changed this a bit so that there are other things that count more, like situational judgment tests, which makes so that they can hire also not only people like me, but also people like they would like to hire. But still, the initial screening tests are not that bad. Then if you are among the top in these screenings, you're invited to a 1 day of assessment center, and then if you win, you are put on this reserve list where the institutions, so not only the parliament, also the council and commission and the other institutions, can fish you if, I mean can, it doesn't mean that you will get hired, but you may get hired. So, advice. I was asked if I could provide some advice. I cannot really provide any advice because this kind of situation is really personal and everybody lives it in his own way. But what I could say is that, again, if you tend to get down or frustrated by research, which tended to happen to me a lot, I mean, don't think that you are throwing away all your previous life if you look somewhere around. There may actually be interesting things to do out there as well. Of course, at the cost to give up unraveling the mysteries of the universe. But hey, you cannot have everything in life. Thank you very much.